What's up, YouTube subscribers? Everyone watching, thank you so much for liking, subscribing. If you have not, go ahead, like this page, subscribe this page, all of that great stuff. I have a special guest with me for the next 3 days. He's going to be rocking out. Say something, Bishop, so they can see you.
Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Bishop Harden, I'm gonna say it, the handsome husband of the beautiful Pastor T. Or should I
Yes,
say Tonya Harden from Tonya Harden Ministries?
yes. He's going to be rocking out with us. And so we're going to be talking about, I thank you so much for joining me, Bishop. We're going to be talking about parenting as a partnership. So we're coming on off of our book that we wrote together titled Marriage Survival Guide, His Story, Her Story. But we're pulling one chapter out of that book titled Parenting is a Partnership. This is also kind of what we use, I guess you can say, at schools as well, that we do for Harden Enterprise, our company that we have where we go out and teach. So if you're a teacher or in the area, hey, reach out to us. It's something that we share with parents as they get ready to prepare for school. But I wanted to do this with him for the next 3 days just to kind of rock out and talk about, we're getting ready for school, Bishop. Like, it's crazy already. We're getting ready for school, about to walk into school. So let's kind of top it up a little bit. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Clyde Harden. For those who don't know me, I am a bishop of a church. I'm a pastor. I'm a bishop of a fellowship, the New Destiny Council of Ministries. I'm a pastor of a church, New Destiny Church. I am the husband of wife Tonya Harden, 3 beautiful daughters, Kiana, Alana, and Madison. Recently become an entrepreneur of a business. The business is Harden Enterprise Services LLC. The president of a nonprofit organization, San City County Outreach Committee. It's a lot that we have going on, and me and my wife actually work together in every facet of everything that I just brought to you. And also, with that being said, I've been working for GE Healthcare for the last almost 20 years. So, if needless to say, we have a busy life.
Yep, busy family. So I want to talk today, the topic that we're going to talk about today, Bishop. Thank you so much, honey, for taking out this time, y'all. As you can see, he's a busy man, but I wanted him to rock out with me. So I had to put myself on his schedule to make sure that he's able to do this with me. But one of the things I want to talk about today, and we're going to talk some more the next 2 days, but today I want to talk about the teamwork makes the dream work. With everything we got going on, we're getting ready for school. We're getting ready to sign our babies up. We just did that last week, registering them in school, learning about the school, all of that great stuff, as well as our oldest going to college this year. That will be happening next week. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But all of that is going down in the next couple of weeks, and realizing how important, me and you got to be together, to make sure that this happened. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Us being on the same page, when it comes to them in school and preparing for school, let's kind of talk a little bit.
That's a huge thing because we just recently moved back to our hometown, Cold Springs, Point Blank. And the reason why I bring that up because I never forget thinking about this in the past, how a lot of times the mom ran the house and the father, kind of just did everything else. He kind of left everything into the mom's hands, and he kind of went out, he worked, he got the bills together, and only time he dealt with the children was when there's serious discipline issues. And what I'm finding out is that it's what reason why that's not healthy is because there's a lot of things that goes on, and so let's kind of break it down into different sections. The partnership has got to be number one in physical responsibility and sharing the load of taking the kids, to practices, making sure things are taken care of with homework, and discipline. That's part of the partnership. So I'm gonna kind of make that category one, being physically present and partnering with the children and everything's going on. I think the other piece is parenting as a partnership with discipline. Discipline. So physical presence is one. discipline is 2, and then number 3, I would say the third one would be, so you got the physical presence, you got the discipline, discipline the children, but number 3, I think the emotional part. What I mean by emotion is, yeah, discipline is there, but the in between discipline is recognizing what's going on. Let's talk about what is happening with the children.
Right.
What is, and not just being absentee, but you don't have to have all the responsibilities of kind of keeping up with what's happening with the child, because it slowly evolves. They don't just overnight become pregnant. They don't overnight become felons. They don't overnight become suicidal, or the next school shooter. I think taking those personal responsibilities in both. So let's kind of talk about that. Our children, we just came out of COVID, and before, the games and practices was obsolete.
Yeah, it was comfortable. We had fun, just relaxing, and that's so not the norm anymore.
So now we back to the place to where we got school, we got after school meetings, we got practices, we got all these things going on back full effect. And so the other day, me and my wife, we were in we was registering our child together. We registered our child in school together, the new district. We registered them together, and so we get in there, and my wife was filling the paperwork out, her lane, and I was communicating with the registrar, my lane. And the lady was saying, who number to put down, who is the contact. I told them, number one, for his email, put her email down, because I don't check emails. I'm not the email checking type of guy.
Right.
Put my email down. But for phone number, put my phone number down.
Right.
Because my wife doesn't have the patience I have, because if y'all call her talking crazy, y'all not gonna get the first lady. Y'all can get mama, and mama is different than first lady. And she has very zero understanding when it comes to her baby. So they'll call me. But the key thing I knew there, that we had partnered in our parenting, that you may not see my wife at the school, but it don't mean that she's an absent mother.
Right.
You gotta know your lane. Husbands, you gotta figure out, where do you fall in the equation? So mama don't have to be everything. I've seen a mom, man, she was everything. She was the soccer mom. She was the cook.
Yeah.
She was the cleaner. She was all these things. I think the kids need the equal balance. They need the equal balance. They need to know dad is going to come up to the school. He's going to get involved with the teachers. He's going to handle all these things. But they also need to know, well, when I get home, I can talk to mom, and mom going to understand, why Sally Sue didn't talk to me, and dad don't want to hear that.
Right. That's good, Bishop. That's real good.
And
yes.
It's okay. It's okay for dad. I let them know real quick. I don't do tears. Go to mom with tears. If you want some reality, come to me. But if all that has to fall on mom has to be the good guy, the bad guy. She has to, cuss the teacher out at the same time. Bring cookies to the teacher.
Now let's make that clear. I don't cuss no teacher out, but I will tell them off. I mean, I know I got to work on that.
Don't. I'm talking about in general.
Gotcha.
Because everybody not saved. And we don't cuss them out, but we show, probably when we get through talking to them, they probably wish we cussed them out.
Yes.
But I think it's important. I mean, you can add to it, but I think it's important that for balance purpose, not just for the workload, but balance purposes for the children, so they see that there's both care.
I want to say this real quick. I'm gonna just kind of pause in there real quick about the teacher part. We also he understands the teacher level. I understand the mom level, and I think you kind of already shared that, because I don't want no teacher to think that we just out here going against teachers. We come together to work with the teachers, and I think that's very, very important to know, to let people, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to working together. We make sure that we're working with the teachers, that they know that we're present. Let's just say that we are the parents that are very present within our children's life, but we know our roles. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
And I'm gonna add this to it also, mom and dad, if y'all know, I'm gonna say this to the mom, and mom just listening, I say this to the dad, and dad just listening, and if both of y'all listen together, y'all know where y'all stand. If you know you present, you don't have to work extra hard to prove to the teacher that I'm a good father, I'm a good mom. My wife been in some situations because I'm so vocal. I'm the guy who can go there and I can tear you off and smile, and you don't know if I told you off, if I just hug you. You don't really know. That's who I am. And so sometimes people may think, well, the mom is not there, and so don't feel as though you have to do extra. Know your area, know your lane. I'm the sports guy. My wife wasn't a sports person, and so my daughters didn't expect mom to come to all the sports games. They wanted dad to come there. When you have that balance, you don't have to overwork or overload yourself doing something that you're not. The children know who you are. They know mom's gonna be there. Mama gonna be there and listen. My daughter called me the other day. Prime example. I was cooking. My wife was entertaining her mom, and her father was over here, and my wife was in deep conversation. My daughter said, "Dad, where mom at? Where mom at? Where mom at?" And I was like, she's over here talking. Well, I got some tea. I got some tea. And for those who don't know what tea is, translation, I got some talk. And they know Daddy don't get into the tea. I don't respond right. And I said, well, you tell me. She said, Dad, that's all right. Just tell Mama to call me. Listen, I go to 100 games, still don't qualify me to get the tea.
Right.
My wife listened to 100 tea conversations, but they don't get excited when she comes to the game. Just know, get a lane. Get a lane.
Right.
Know your lane and stick to your lane.
Right. That's great. Thank you, Bishop. I want to share this too, because you said something earlier and I wrote it down. I thought I did. But about us being physically present, you know what I'm saying? I want to kind of deal with that, even we got to be willing, because of so much that's going on, you know what I'm saying? We got to be willing to be physical present with the kids. We always do the no phone zone, even when the kids start school and they come home from school because they've had phones all day, just kind of getting that time with them, even when they get ready to start school, because they're always in their room. They're, not in the present, and just having your children in because they grow up so fast. Kiana was just to me in the 9th grade just yesterday, and now she's a college student. You know what I'm saying? It's like being present in that moment with your children as they're going to school, and even when they come home, being that part of their present. I know for me, I'm the one, like you said, I'm the one with the conversation. I want to know, how was it? How was your friends? How's everything? What did you like? Just being present with the children.
I'm gonna give this in a couple different folds. So I guess, am I being interviewed? Is this what's going on here?
Oh no, I think it didn't went that way because you're on my YouTube page, so I done brought you into the Tonya Harden ministry world. So I guess so, yeah.
I share this. I share this in a couple different ways, and remember this here, Mom. If you listen to me, listen to me from two perspectives. Number one, as a perspective, to learn how it can be done. And number two, maybe some things you can share with your spouse. And if the husband's listening to it, kind of just be, kind of be open to the advice. That's what I would share. But this is what I would say, two perspectives. Number one, my daughter, I'll never forget, I talked about earlier when I first started this conversation, how we back home. And one thing that reminded me about home is that mom would in this community would take care of all things home, and dad would take things, all things work, and he'd only get involved into the child's life whenever there was discipline. Some severe discipline came in play, and he'd come in and he'll be the strong arm, and he'd go back to do whatever he did. But so I kind of give you a little bit of a testimony for me. So Kiana was probably, I'm gonna guess she's 18 now, so I'm gonna say 11. Let's say 11, right? She's 11, and me and my wife, we've been moving, doing a lot of things, and I was a strong worker. She was a strong house presence, and I wasn't really present. I wasn't really involved in the children. Make sure they had clothes, make sure they had food, make sure they had a roof over their head. Hey, what else do you want from me? And so one day my wife came to me, and it broke my heart because she said, hey, sweetheart, I got something I want to share with you. I said, what's that? She said, the other day, I left, and Kiana came to me before I left and said, Mom, you leaving me at home by myself with Dad? And I didn't know this even happened. And she said, you leaving me at home by myself with Dad? She said, yeah, baby, why? She said, I've never been home by myself with Dad, And immediately my wife's mind went to running. Have Dad touched her? Have Dad something like this? Thank God I didn't. I love my children, but I never do that. But the thing was, she was uncomfortable being around me because I wasn't present, and I never been in that situation. You realize my child was 11 years old, and I never ever was it 11 years old, sweetheart?
I think it was 11 or 10. I want to say
At
11 or
10,
10. What? Yeah, she was young.
and I'd never been home by myself with her. And so, why was that? What was the big deal? Because she never listens to this. She never knew what it was like to feel a father's touch.
Oh, that's good.
You know, if your daughter never know what it feels to have a father's touch, the only man she'll ever have to touch her is a man who's outside of the home. And when he do touch her, the touch would be so special to her that she'll do anything to be touched by a man.
Come on here.
And I didn't get that. I didn't get that. And so my daughters didn't kiss me. I didn't hug my daughters. I didn't know what that felt like. And so that day I knew I made it a point to kiss my daughters. I made it a point to hug my daughters. I made it a point to embrace my children. I wanted to give them that father's touch because I haven't. I gave them a father's paycheck. I gave them a father's home. I gave them all these things, but they never touched me. They never been present to me. And now I'm proud to say that now my daughter's finna graduate 18 years, and I kiss my daughters every day. I hug my daughters every day, randomly. Will grab them. My youngest, she's so tired of it. She's like, but now she throw her head up, waiting for the kiss, because I touched them. And no man will get the gratification of thinking that they're doing something because they touched them.
Come
You
on.
you don't get extra brownie points because you was emotionally connected to them. They know what that's like. They know what it's like to have a father, take them out. And so the next part of that is that not only did I make it a present to do that, soon after that, my daughter was about to turn 13. And so
Right.
I need to do something special because I don't want no dude to make my daughter think that, just because he take her to a McDonald's or granted, my wife has a great relationship with my children, so we still dealing with partnership here, right? But she couldn't be daddy and mama.
That part, that's good.
My daughters are best friends with my wife, man. I get mad because they so cool. Like, woman, them your children, not your friends. But they have a special relationship. And be honest, I was jealous. But I sit back and I've made it a point that I have to partner with this. I have to put balance because mama needs to be mama, not daddy. So what I started doing is when my children turn 13 years old, I take them on their first date. My baby turns 13 years old in a few months, and my last daughter is going on my first date with her. So I'm starting something new now. That when you turn 21, I'm taking you on your first grown woman date. So even if they got a boyfriend at 21, move over, daddy, taking her out, because I'm gonna miss taking my children out. But anyways, I take them out to a nice restaurant. We have a restaurant here in Texas called Perry Steakhouse. I don't know if you have one close to you. I spend over $100. I buy them a ring, and it's a promise ring. I ask them to, make a promise to try to keep your virginity. Don't build something up that's gonna be too much. Just try to keep your virginity, and I just love on them and spend the night with them. They get a nice dress, and it's just daddy, daughter, dinner, and I enjoy it. I think my 13-year-old already asked mama to buy her some earrings and some necklaces. I want to believe because she's trying to get ready for that dinner. But
Yes.
it's necessary. It's necessary to be present, and so when it comes down to it, listen to this. They value my opinion in some areas, and they value my wife's opinion in areas. And the reason why they value both of ours because we're both present.
Right. And I think it allows us to there's a balance that has to take place. Have we always had it together? No, not at all. We've made a lot of mistakes as parents, and which is why we wrote this book, and added that part to the book because of the mistakes that we made. And we continue to make today. We still make mistakes. But I just think it's at the end of the day, if we're on one accord as parents, and we're together when it comes to, preparing for school or preparing for life, period, that we got to be together. So I want to switch it up really, really quick.
I want to ask you
Go
a
ahead.
question because this is something I think is important because I think so many women don't do a good job at this because I'm a man. I'm 100% man. I don't know what it's like to be on a cycle. I don't know what it's like for that first time. Kind of share with the ladies some things you do because I've always valued. My wife is a very good mom to daughters, and my wife take it over the top when it comes to when they hit that first time of the month, and not just that, she keeps them and help them understand how to stay clean, and she's very big on not smelling, and women because she teaches me that young ladies smell, and she's very big on kind of share with them some of the things that you do, from their first cycle to the time that they actually graduate, to try to enhance hygiene and try to make them feel good about themselves when they even get there. Can I talk about that? That's very valuable to me.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'll say that I learned some of this from an amazing friend by the name of Lady Aisha Hines. She's absolutely her and Sherelle Denson are two amazing women to me that I've seen, raise their children, and they have just been such a great example to me when it came to raising, my girls. So one of the things that I do with my girls, whenever my girls started their cycle, I would, and I can't believe we're going here, but it's great information though, but I would go out. If it was at school, if they was at somebody's house or something happened, I would take them out for the day and we would spend the day together. And when we spend that day, if it happened at school, they call me and I always let them know whenever it was supposed to happen. Hey, let mama know whenever this happened. This is kind of preparing them before it started. Hey, this is the things that are going to happen. Expect this to happen. If you see this or you see that, kind of let mama know. You can call me anytime. This is my number. But I also created packages for them. So I went out and purchased what they loved. So for an example, for Kiana loves the color blue. That's her favorite color at the time. I don't know what she likes now, but during that time, she loved the color blue. And so I went out and got her a lot of things that were blue. She loved journaling, so I got journals that she liked at the time. I want to say she was into watches then, so I got her a watch, just a little gift bag. So I get them this gift bag, and along with that gift bag, it's called a gift basket. And I got that from Lady Hines. I got this gift basket. And in this gift basket, I also put the hygienes in there, the different things, for smell, for your smell, the little package that you can carry to school that has, your pads and your change of underwear and, deodorant, powder, all of this stuff in this thing. So along with that, you get kind of a little purse that goes with it. But I make it a special day so it won't seem like it's oh my God, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be a special day. So I created this day for them. So every child that started, that was their thing. So it was almost like they couldn't wait. One of them couldn't wait. It was like, I can't wait to get the basket. I can't wait. So you kind of make it exciting for them. So, it was just one of those. I think it's a great idea. Again, got it from an amazing friend. Great idea to do. I just added my own little flavor with taking them out and spending a day with them, and let's go to the movies. Like you almost, and I hate to say this, but it was like, if it happened at school, we're skipping school. Let's go. We're going to go and have a day to ourselves and just kind of have a mama and daughter day together. So that's pretty much what I do. And again, it makes it exciting for them. And it just kind of lets them know that they're not illy and just not, they're not those, this is life. This is what happens. This is what you do. I do a whole training on what to do, how to check, I ain't going that deep, but I do all of that when it comes to that. So
key thing in this, sweetheart, is that we dealing with partnership, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a mother, you can teach young ladies how to be young ladies.
Yeah.
As a father, I can teach. If I had a young man, I don't have a young man, but I can teach a young man how to be a young man. But even though I can't teach a young man how to be a young man, I can teach a young lady how to be treated by a man.
Right.
Listen, you got to realize the value. I know. I talk about this at church a lot, that we all get caught up in the rat race, trying to, make a dollar, trying to pay the bills. But we don't want to get caught up in this rat race to where we don't raise our children.
Right.
They need to feel every stage of life. My wife let them feel their transition.
Yes.
I let them feel their transition to, womanhood in a different way. She embraced their cycle. I embraced their transition the same way, by taking them out and embracing them and letting them know that they can be loved by men. You gotta let them feel. And a lot of times, if we're not present, they don't get a chance to feel, and they wind up feeling for.
Right.
That's good. They're, if they don't feel it, they feel for it, and that's why you ladies. I hear so many times the young ladies would always blame their emotional problems or their sexual ambitions on the lack of the presence of a father.
Right. So true.
We have to balance.
Yeah, we definitely, when I say definitely, I want to add this and then, because I want to save some more for tomorrow. I don't know how long we've been going, but I do want to add this to the table is that when we come together to make big decisions that's going to impact the entire family, we make sure we have family meetings. I think that's very, very important. Another thing we learned, just and the importance of bringing the kids on and making sure that they're a part of it. What would you say about, and I know there's different age groups, when you have different age groups, there's some things that we didn't let Madison know, but it was a lot of things that we did, let the girls know when it came down to decision making, which is also a part of being physically present. So you want to kind of deal with that or talk about that, or you finna go somewhere else? Because we can go somewhere else. Okay.
No, I think that's healthy. I think it's very healthy, because once again, I was raised old school. I was raised country. Children got when grown folks talk, they need to be out of the way. They need to be out of the way. That's key. In their rooms, in a place, not where they're able to embrace things. They don't get a choice. They don't get an idea. They don't get a mind. They don't get a chance to think. Matter of fact, as a child, I couldn't think. I couldn't feel. I had no. All I could do is just do what my parents. I was a slave. I couldn't have emotions. Couldn't feel. Couldn't feel. Didn't have emotions. Couldn't think. Couldn't feel. Didn't have a say so. And so my wife taught me that we got to give our children a say so. We got to give them a thought, and got to give them buy-in. And so what we wound up doing, and it works. It works because number one, children are human, and with them being human, they have feelings, they have emotions, and they need the chance to deal with that and process that. So we made some major moves, whether it was starting a church, starting a business, moving from, the city to the country. And we found out the more we involved our children, the first we came together. We didn't come to them and ask them for permission. Don't get it twisted. We never came to them and asked them for permission. Because
Right.
children don't know what they want. They don't know what they need. They know what they want. They don't know what they need. It's take parents to tell them what they need. So we come together and we collaborate first and try to figure out, okay, what do our family need? And once we figure out what our family need, then we come to them and tell them what we're about to do. We help them process it, deal with it. And once they begin to process it, they went through the emotional, the roller coasters, the crying, but the sooner they embraced it, they became part of it, and they became more of the solution than they did the problem. So I think it's healthy for us to be able to communicate with them, transitions, give them buy-in, and even if they don't like it, the fact that we gave them a chance, they was able to enjoy the ride a lot more. That makes sense?
That makes a lot of sense. I think it's very, very important to have that conversation, to sit down with them when there's going to be a major transition that's about to happen. I think it's very, very important. And I believe also it allows them to learn, because we were in a season where we told our children that we were going to live like no one else so that we can live like no one else. And being in that season, we kind of showed them how to budget, because we were budgeting big time. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a great thing to have with that. But I know one of the other things you wanted to talk about, and then we really are done quick on discipline, or do you want to come back and talk about that tomorrow?
No, I was hoping you brought discipline up because
Okay.
it's very key. And listen, I want you to understand a couple things about discipline. Discipline. Now, this is dangerous. Y'all gotta take notes here. This can probably be continue with tomorrow because it's a lot here. It's a lot I'm learning. I'm a parent of I've been a parent for 18 years. I'm a parent of an 18-year-old. I'm a parent of a 16-year-old. And I'm a parent of a 12-year-old. 12 about to be 13. And you have got to talk because number one, every child can't be disciplined the same.
That's good. Yes, sir. So
It's
true.
easy to say I'm gonna beat all of them. I'm gonna yell at all of them. I'm gonna everything happen the same way. That's number
Right.
one. You gotta understand. Maybe we need to elaborate this more tomorrow because it's three stages I have to understand. Number one, not every child can be disciplined the same. And number two, you cannot embrace the older and look over the necessity of letting your child, the youngest, still be a child. I think sometimes we get caught up
Mhm.
in raising an older child to where we don't allow the baby to be a baby because now we put the expectations we have on the oldest on the youngest.
True.
So that was very important to me. And then realizing that you can have a good plan on how you're going to respond, but all it is a plan. You got to let the situation, the child, teach you how to discipline. That's gonna be that's a book.
That's a whole book. Yes, sir.
You gotta let the child teach you how to discipline them. You
Yeah.
know, just because like I say, every child is different. They need it, man. And so it's so much I can give there. I would just start with that piece. That's kind of just hang my hat somewhere. What I want to hang my hat at. Every child got to be disciplined different. You know, I won't even go there. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's start with this part. Talking. Me and my wife talking. We can come back and visit some of this stuff. We got to talk because, my approach, how I'm raised, what I think of things. I'm a man, raising daughters. It's not necessarily right. It's not necessarily wrong, but it's not necessarily right, right? So my wife has thoughts. She have ideas on what should be done. So what should you do? They used to always say there's three parts of every story. There's number one, her side, his side, then the truth. I think there's three parts to a discipline. It's my side, her side, and what we come together with.
Okay.
It can have a little bit of me, a little bit of her,
Mm-hmm.
and then a whole lot of what we came up with together. And
Right.
it's gotta be. And listen,
That's good.
listen. And I feel like preaching here. And once you figure it out, you gotta do a check on it every 6 months. Because who your child was 6 months ago ain't the child or more.
Let
You
the
know,
church say amen.
I mean, I literally, my daughter turned 18. She's had discipline shifts faster than anybody else because she had the high school to 18 discipline shift. Then she had the 18 to college student discipline shift. Now she got the college student to the child who got a car discipline shift.
And almost 19.
Man, so you got to realize that your
To the young adult, it's like we're learning how to raise a young, really not raise, but how to allow what we taught the young adult to how to be. Oh, okay, that's a good conversation for tomorrow.
It's so much.
It's so much behind it.
I would even tell you this here, and I don't want to bore y'all, but there's so much that we're facing right now as a young adult that I had to understand. Why was I so emotional when she graduated? I thought every parent was excited when their child walked across stage.
Me too.
I didn't realize they wasn't excited. Graduation is not getting in spirit. Graduation is not an exciting day for parents. It's very super exciting for the kids, but it's not exciting for the parents because I realized why. I analyze everything. I don't let anything go without analyzing it. I realized why it wasn't exciting because it's here. My daughter could have walked across the stage and came to me with a cap and gown in her hand and told me, "Deuces, I'm out of here." And wasn't nothing I'm gonna do about it. I couldn't do nothing. Up until she walked across the stage, I had to say so.
Yeah.
Up until she walked across the stage, I had to say so. After she walked across the stage, I had no say so. I couldn't do nothing. And luckily, she's still here.
Yeah, he was mad. Let's make it. He was.
I was hurt.
The entire
scared.
day. That's what it was. You could tell because he was real. So I'm just like, I'm trying to be the parent that was there, that part of learning each other and staying in each other's lane. And it was just like, okay, I'm going to be quiet, let him have his day, what is going on. And later we talked about it in the car. And that's very important communication when it comes to these children, and not communicating it in front of them, but communicating it together. Because I really want to say, chill out. Why are you tripping? Did not realize that he was having his emotions. I'm, of course, boo-hooing and crying because, oh my God, my baby's graduating. Not thinking that she could have brought me a cap and gown and said, I'm out. I was not thinking that. So to understand that, it was like, oh my God, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was almost like me as a woman, I'm emotional. You as a man, you are analytical. And so because of that, what happens is that you're thinking future, I'm thinking now. and which it should be that way. We should be able to balance each other. But you had to bring me back to say, okay, this one can really happen. And oh my God, I was in my feelings after that graduation for a couple of days because I knew that this could happen. So we had to have a conversation with our daughter about, what's next, because we're not here to run your life, and we want you to learn what you want to learn. And it's going to be your decision from here on out what you do. And that's a whole nother, and here's the thing, on this, we're going to have a Q&A on the very last day. I forgot the date, and I'll let you know the date, and I'll put it right here, right now. So we're going to have a Q&A. So I want you to leave your questions, or you can email me at admin@tonyaharden.com. Email me your questions, or you can put them below in the comments to ask those questions that you want to ask. And on the very last day, we're going to be talking about and answering your questions live on Facebook, and we're going to try to do it on YouTube, all of it together. I'm going to do my best. I'm trying to learn something different, but all right, go ahead, Bishop. My bad.
I would say this too. I don't want to leave that young lady out, that young man out who's divorced, right? Because
I love it.
In the world, parenting is still a partnership.
Yes, it is.
Now, it's going to take a little more work, but it's going to take some maturity. And what do you know about that? You and your wife been married. I was raised in a broken home. I was raised, and my father was one place, my mother was another. So it can still be. My mom used to call my dad to come whoop my behind. My mom used to call my dad to drive almost 70 miles to come whoop my behind for doing bad things. And so I think it's necessary. It's more necessary for you guys to partnership on what y'all doing, because you gotta let the child know that, number one, you're not gonna break up, two happy homes.
Right.
You're not gonna, force mom and dad to get back together. You're not finna become, disruptive because you have been a victim of this. Everything. I think if y'all come together and y'all talking, y'all discussing, y'all make it an intentional approach that the children can still be raised by two parents, even though the two parents are two separate places. And now we have four parents involved, or maybe the three parents involved. However there is, it can be done. I think the children. I'm gonna say this here. From the time that you give birth to a child and to the time they leave, you don't get a choice. If you take a choice and you choose not to, you're wrong. But from the time the child is born, I don't care if you're the man and y'all never dated, y'all never been together, just a one-time encounter, you shouldn't get a choice. You should fight, not for, just fight for the right to have, what's the word I'm looking for? Custody. I think you should fight for the right to have a voice.
Yeah. And a relationship. A voice and a relationship.
Presence.
Yes.
You want to really impress me, fight to spend time with your child. I know child support one thing and all that, but spend time with your child. That's the value. If I'm going to pay, we're going to have some time together.
Yeah. And I would say even to that person and say, okay, daddy's not there, mama's not there, right? Neither one is there, and I'm just a single parent, or they're no longer here, you know what I'm saying, because of death or whatever. I would say this is that, is finding someone that can, you know what I'm saying?
Mother figure.
Yeah, that can kind of give that other voice that is needed and give direction and clarity.
Balance you.
Yeah.
Balance you. I think that whether it's a grandfather, whether it's an uncle, someone who is, and in the person's life, whether it's an older brother, someone else that can balance the situation. I think it's necessary. A child needs balance.
Well, Bishop, we have more to talk about tomorrow. Hey, join us tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here on this YouTube, where it's going to premiere here. Where we're going to go a little bit deeper, a little bit more deeper. I think we need to deal with the emotional part, and still deal with a little bit more about the discipline, Bishop. I really think we need to do that. More about the discipline and how we discipline and the way we discipline. And then we want to talk more the next day. And then we're going to be going live with you one of those days again. I'll have all the information here. Until then, again, like, subscribe, share with a friend. Rock out with us tomorrow. Bishop, thank you so much for Bishop Clyde Harden Jr. Thank you so much for rocking out with me.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for rocking out, and thank you for taking the time to do this with me. Again, if you want to know more information or you want to leave your questions, please leave your comment below or email me at admin@tonyaharden.com, and we will answer all of your questions really, really soon when we go live on my social media platform. All right, until next time, stay blessed in all that you do. Thank you again, Bishop, so much for rocking out. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.